It was spring of 1991, Easter weekend. A girlfriend and I decided that we were going to go to Memphis, Tennessee and kind of do the Elvis thing. And the weekend had gotten away from us. And before the weekend was over, I had become victim to an acquaintance rape that had happened. I remember driving home with my girlfriend, really just praying that I wouldn't be somebody who hated men after that experience, because at the time I was a virgin, so there was a lot at stake emotionally, and I knew that already. It was about 30 days after that I found out that I was pregnant. Took a pregnancy test on my lunch hour, actually, and I had always grown up convinced, strong conviction that abortion was murder, but when you find yourself caught in the trap, it ended up being one of the first things I thought about was going ahead and getting an abortion. It was by that, after Easter, then we kind of moved on to Mother's Day. I'm 30 days into this and trying to mentally and emotionally process that, it wasn't just something that happened to me over the weekend, it's something that has now happened to my entire life, and what's next. Once I found out I was pregnant, I couldn't really contain the pressure of that news to myself, and I had some pretty great parents who always told me, if anything ever happens, you can always tell us anything. So I took advantage of that with my mom one night and explained to her what had happened, and watched her heart break right in front of me. And I told her that I was considering an abortion because I didn't know any other way out of the situation. She did and took an opportunity to tell my father, and he met me on the front porch the following day, himself broken and in a lot of tears. And we walked into the house, and he wanted to know how things had unfolded, and then he had said that abortion is murder, and we're not going to do that. And honestly, I felt in that truth a new liberty, a new freedom to go ahead and do the next best thing for us. And so I decided from that point on then that we were going to start looking for adoptive parents for the baby, and walked through that process of looking at profiles on parents, and everybody read like a wonderful Hallmark card. It was surprisingly a hard decision to try to choose somebody to raise your first baby. And eventually I had decided on a couple from the northern states, and by the time it came time to have the baby, they came to see her, but personally for me it was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be to go ahead and say goodbye. So the state of Illinois actually gives you 72 hours to sign over parental rights to the child, or won't let you do that for 72 hours. And I had given my daughter over to this couple, and they had her overnight in the hotel while I was at my house trying to process everything that had happened. My mom was doing the same. She had a little prayer time with the Lord, and she felt released to come in and let me know that if I changed my mind, that she'd be willing to go ahead and stay home and take care of the baby while I worked. And again, there was this new freedom, this opportunity to reconsider a decision that I didn't exactly have a lot of peace about, but didn't see another way. So I actually called a girlfriend of mine who was a mother of two twin boys that were 2 years old, a single mom, and it said, tell me everything horrible about being a single parent. Just try to convince me that it's the wrong decision, and there was nothing she could say to convince me otherwise. This baby looked me in the eyes, and there was just no way that I could just not be her mom. So in that decision then I went back and got her and brought her home. I had absolutely nothing in the house prepared to raise a baby. Didn't have a big income to raise a baby, but the amazing thing was when I made that choice for life, and then I made that choice to be her parent, all the provisions came and have been there ever since. Being a single parent obviously has a lot of pressures to it, but there has never been a time, ever once, that I've ever regretted the decision. There was just an increase of love and purpose that she brought into my life with that choice. There was a new drive in my life to do well by her because she deserved it. I knew from the beginning that there was nothing of her conception that needed to reflect on her value. And my greatest concerns for her weren't just monetary, but in her heart, how well she felt valued. And so I was always careful to look out for those things and make sure that we were involved with families while she was growing up, so she always felt that warmth and had that encouragement in her life. And I can remember her kindergarten parent-teacher conference, and my heart kind of beating a little bit fast because I thought, was this possibly the wrong decision to be a single parent for her? Is she showing any lack? And the teacher had said that she's a friend to everyone, you wouldn't know any different. I lived a life committed to the Lord since the day she was born, and it has made a huge difference in our lives. And she has more confidence than I ever could dream that I had. And we actually like to call her my trophy daughter. So
I've never felt that I've been lacking in life, which I know, despite the circumstances, is kind of crazy for people to think, maybe she's felt without a father or felt like a void in her life. And I've never had that lack in my life. Ever since I can remember, I always had friends that, grew up knowing my story, not knowing the full thing, of course, and they never looked at me differently, always loved me the same. And I know their fathers were always a father figure to me, which has been a great blessing. And all through my life, it's been a huge blessing. It's been hard sometimes, do we want groceries or toilet paper, is decisions that we had to make on a monthly basis. And despite all that, I don't think I'd trade it for anything. I think God's given me a purpose in life to talk to girls who've been in situations like my own, or who are in families that don't have the best family life. She doesn't have the best father figure. And since God has helped me in my life through the circumstances that I've been put in and put through, I feel like I have a big testimony of my own to be able to share with people. I remember coming home from school after researching about abortion for a paper I was writing, and I was really upset, really angry, and in my life it just wasn't a choice. And I remember telling my mom that after researching this and how horrible it was and the stories that I had read about it, that all I wanted to do was have babies just to spite it. So